Police to restructure tactical units in its continued fight against crime and violence. And government has choice to publish IMF report on IMF consultations, so says Financial Secretary. Regionally, Northeast Trinidad rocked by earthquake. Internationally, Queen Elizabeth's husband unhurt in crash while driving. And in sports, Curry hits 9 three-pointers to become first player in NBA history to make 8 or more threes in 3 straight games. We'll have the details in these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back, and now the national news in detail. During the course of 2019, a greater effort will be made by the police to consolidate the gains, particularly those experienced in the last 3 months of 2018. Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris, said that 2 tactical units in the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, RSCNPF, are set to undergo a number of reforms.
Since most of the violent criminal activities have been linked to gangs, the anti-gang and the anti-drug task force will be reorganized to achieve more efficacious outcomes. More operations will be targeted at the recovery of illegal firearms. Our air and seaport operations will pay greater attention to detection and confiscation of illegal contraband, including the guns and the ammunition.
The anti-gang unit operates primarily in the rural areas of St. Kitts and is comprised of officers from the RSCNPF, St. Kitts and Nevis Defence Force, and Her Majesty's Customs and Excise Department. The anti-drug unit, or drug squad, as it is commonly referred to, carries out interdictory efforts related to narcotics. St. Kitts and Nevis recorded 23 homicides in 2018, the same as 2017, and police recovered 37 illegal firearms in 2018. During the period June 29th to July 9th, 2018, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the authorities of St. Kitts and Nevis engaged in the usual Article 4 consultation with an on-site mission to the Federation. The purpose of that consultation was to assess the country's economic health and to prevent future financial problems. Over 6 months later, the government has still not consented to the publication of the IMF's country report. However, in an update at the Prime Minister's monthly press conference on January 16th, Financial Secretary Mrs. Hilary Hazel says the consultation with the IMF continues.
I would like to confirm that the government continues with its consultation with the IMF as with any other country that is a member of that body. It is also important for us to note that the IMF is not the only credible source of information on the economic performance of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. In fact, the economic data that is gathered and distributed by the government is shared with all our relevant economic partners.
She added that it is the government's choice to publish.
Government has the option to publish or not to publish. At this point in time, we will continue to have consultations with that body.
Financial Secretary Mrs. Hilary Hazel. National consultations on the school curriculum here in St. Kitts in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis will begin next week. At these sessions, the wider community will weigh in and make their contribution to the discussion about what the curriculum in the learning institutions should entail. The first of these consultations will be held on Monday, January 21st at the Old Boys School, also known as the Wesley Methodist School Hall, and the Old Girls School or St. George's Anglican School Hall in Bastia, respectively. The consultation at the Wesley Methodist Hall or Old Boys School on Victoria Road and Seaton Street will address parents, students, faith-based and youth groups and other organizations, as well as the general public with concerns about the school's curriculum. The consultation at the St. George's Anglican Hall or Old Girls School on Victoria Road will be for representatives of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Tourism Department, Department of Labor, Taxi Association, other private sector partners and civil societies such as the Rotary and other clubs. Residents of St. Kitts and Nevis are being urged to take all necessary measures to protect themselves and eliminate all breeding places for mosquitoes from around their homes in the wake of a Caribbean dengue alert. Dengue fever is a viral disease of the tropics transmitted by mosquitoes and causing sudden fever and severe pains in the joints. It is transferred by the Aedes aegypti mosquito and is also the mosquito which transfers Zika and chikungunya. In attesting to the alert, the VON Newsline held an interview with Medical Officer of Health here on Nevis, Dr. Judy Nisbet, who urged the public to eliminate mosquito breeding sites.
We want to alert persons in Nevis about this and to ask them to be vigilant. Now, dengue is endemic to Nevis, meaning that it's generally found in our population. The virus is always here. It therefore follows then that an outbreak or an increase in the number of cases can occur at any time. The virus is carried from person to person, as we know, by mosquitoes, and it's for this reason that we always emphasize how extremely important it is to destroy mosquito breeding sites in and around your homes, and not just your homes, but your workplaces, your communities, your villages.
Moreover, Dr. Nisbet confirmed that there are no known cases of the disease.
There are no known cases of dengue fever yet. However, we have stepped up our surveillance and we are being very vigilant. But persons within the community need to know what the signs and symptoms are. Patients with dengue fever would have a high fever along with at least 2 other symptoms. And these other symptoms are things like severe headache, pain behind the eyes, skin rash, muscle and joint pain, for example, and nausea and vomiting. If persons have any of these symptoms, you're encouraged to visit your healthcare provider, your health center, your hospital promptly.
Medical Officer of Health here on Nevis, Dr. Judy Nisbet. St. Kitts Sustainable Destination Council, SDC, is one of 15 finalists for the Caribbean at the World Travel and Tourism Council WTTC Tourism for Tomorrow Awards. The SDC facilitates partnerships and functional relationships among public and private sectors and all people in St. Kitts to ensure that development of the destination preserves and benefits the environment, culture, heritage, and community livelihoods. The 2019 finalists are organized into the following new categories: climate action, investing in people, destination stewardship, social impact, and change makers. The St. Kitts Sustainable Destination Council is a finalist for Destination Stewardship Award. This is for organizations which help a place to thrive and brings forward its unique identity for the benefit of its residents and tourists. The WTTC Awards, now in their 15th year, showcase business practices of the highest standards that balance the needs of people, planet, and profits within the travel and tourism sector. Following a rigorous 3-phase judging process, which includes an on-site evaluation, winners of the 2019 Tourism for Tomorrow Awards will be announced during the award ceremony at the 19th TTC Global Summit in Seville, Spain, from 2nd to 4th April 2019. As of January 11, 2019, $1.34 million have been paid out under the Poverty Alleviation Program here in St. Kitts and Nevis. This is made up of 2,687 checks made out to qualified families. Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. Denable Timothy Harris, thanked the Departments of Social Services and National Security, Sustainable Development, Nevis Island Administration NIA, Accountant General and Public Works for their contributions to making the rollout of the program possible. He also said that some applications are awaiting resolution prior to final payments. Dr. Harris noted that during the course of the month, the Ministries of Social Services and Sustainable Development, in conjunction with the Accountant General's Office, will be sorting out queries. The program, which was launched on December 24, 2018, provides $500 EC monthly assistance to households earning less than 3,000 EC dollars a month. And finally, in police news, 2 persons have been taken into custody in relation to a shooting incident which occurred at about 7:45 a.m. today, January 17, 2019, in the Monkey Hill area. Thus far, investigations have revealed that Marlon Martin received injury to his feet while driving along a road in the area. His vehicle was also damaged. Martin was treated and discharged from the JNF General Hospital. It is understood that he is the son of a former Speaker of National Assembly, Curtis Martin. Investigations are ongoing. Still in police news. Reports reaching the VON Newsline have revealed that the police are investigating a situation in which a man died suddenly in the Dieppe Bay area in St. Kitts. The incident occurred on Wednesday afternoon, January 16th. Police have confirmed that the gentleman died shortly after taking a swim. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio and our Von Radio YouTube channel. News from across the region is next.
Home. It means something different to everyone. It's a place you love, a place as unique as you are. A place where you can be yourselves. A place for life's big surprises, and not to mention the small ones. Moments to cherish, and moments that last a lifetime. It's a place for nurture, and a place where you can grow together. It's home. So whether you're building, purchasing, or renovating, the Bank of Nevis is here to open the door, giving you the confidence to dream and the help you need to get there with a mortgage loan from the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Out of Trinidad. A 4.1 earthquake struck the northeast of the island on Tuesday night as seismic activity continues to rattle parts of the region. Preliminary information from the University of the West Indies Seismic Research Center, SRC, notes that the earthquake occurred around 9:02 p.m. Areas affected were Arima, Scarborough, and Port of Spain. The quake's location was at latitude 10.80 degrees north, longitude 61.01 degrees west. Still in Trinidad. Relatives of 15-year-old Devya Ria Maharaj need help in finding the missing teen. According to reports, this is the first time Devya has left home without informing the family. She was last seen wearing a black skirt and brown top at the family's Penal Rock home on Saturday night. Her stepmother said around 9:15 p.m. the family was organizing for a movie night when the children were readying themselves. She said when she asked for Devya, no one had seen her. Police say they are investigating the matter. Out of Grenada. Government workers are getting a well-deserved financial break as they will receive their January salaries more than a week ahead of schedule, and it will include a 4% salary increase and increments. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Mrs. Ophelia Wells Cornwall, said that a decision was taken to pay January salaries on the 21st instead of the 30th. The 4% salary increase being paid to public officers is the third and final portion of a 10% increase agreed to with trade unions representing the workers. Based on the agreements, public officers received a 3% increase in 2017 and another 3% in 2018. Public officers will also receive their annual increments as part of the January salary. Pensioners will also benefit from the 4% increase in salaries, and they will receive their payment on January 29th, along with those who qualified for ex gratia payments. Ex gratia payments are payments which are done as a favor and not legal obligation. Out of Curacao. Minister responsible for the telecommunication company UTS, Mrs. Zita Jesus Lito, has debunked claims that the establishment was preparing to lay off 100 of its employees. She said this is not true and that she has no knowledge of this. The minister indicated that she will have to hear from the company what will take place, but it is certain that the committee responsible for the negotiations for the sale of the company is not talking about laying off employees. According to media reports, much concerns and talk about sending home employees of the telecommunication company have risen in recent weeks. The minister also explained that the company that will take over UTS must keep the current employees and must comply with all the agreements made. Out of St. Vincent. A Union Island youth was on Monday placed on a curfew after being brought to court on his fourth burglary charge. The 17-year-old was charged that on January 8th he entered the dwelling house of Rasida Baptiste of Ashton, Union Island as a trespasser and stole one gold Samsung Galaxy S6 cell phone valued at EC $800, the property of Rasida Baptiste. Chief Magistrate Rashawn Brown granted him $1,500 EC bail with one surety and ordered that he observe a 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. And finally, out of the British Virgin Islands. Newly appointed Health Minister Marlon Penn cannot say when the construction project for Pebbles Hospital in Rotown will be completed. Responding to questions in the House of Assembly on Tuesday, Penn said the construction cost for the medical facility to date is over $114 million. An increase to that figure will now depend on whether further works are done to the facility. Currently, the 6th floor of the building is unfinished and unoccupied. Penn recently took responsibility for the territory's health portfolio after former NDP Minister Ronnie Skelton was sacked from the post. Skelton now sits as leader of the parliamentary opposition and chairman of the breakaway NDP organization called the Progressive Virgin Islands Movement. That's it for Original Stories. Stay with us for news from around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. The Duke of Edinburgh has been involved in a car crash while driving near the Queen's Sandringham estate, Buckingham Palace, has said. Prince Philip, 97, was not injured in the accident, which happened as he drove a Range Rover out of the driveway onto the A149 shortly before 3 p.m. GMT. Buckingham Palace said the crash involved another car. 2 people in the car were treated for minor injuries. More in this report.
Police are emphatic that the Duke has not been injured. He's back at Sandringham House. He's seen a doctor there who has confirmed that he has suffered no injuries. This happened at about 3:30 this afternoon on the A149, close to the Sandringham estate at a place called Babingley Crossroads. As we understand it, the Duke, who was driving himself, the Range Rover, was pulling out of a driveway when there was a road traffic accident involving another vehicle. According to eyewitnesses, the Range Rover that the Duke was driving turned over. Now, according to the eyewitnesses who were at the scene, they helped him out of the vehicle. According to an eyewitness, the Duke was conscious, but he was very, very shocked and shaken.
A 21-year-old man from the U.S. state of Georgia has been arrested over an alleged terror plot to attack the White House and Statue of Liberty. Hasha Jalal Tahab was arrested after trading his car for semi-automatic rifles, anti-tank and explosive devices, said court documents. Authorities say Mr. Tahab, 21, detailed his plans to an undercover FBI agent and informant last year. He reportedly plotted to attack the White House on Thursday, January 17th. Mr. Tahab allegedly told the undercover agent he planned to blow up a door of the West Wing with an anti-tank rocket in order to enter and kill people. He is charged with attempting to destroy a federal building and faces up to 20 years in prison. It is unclear if Mr. Tahab has a lawyer. U.S. President Donald Trump has postponed House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's upcoming trip to Brussels, Afghanistan, and Egypt, citing the government shutdown. Mr. Trump said in a letter, "I am sure you would agree that postponing this public relations event is totally appropriate." Mrs. Pelosi urged Mr. Trump on Wednesday to postpone his State of the Union address, citing the political deadlock. Mr. Trump's move came on the 27th day of the partial U.S. government shutdown. The Republican president wants $5.7 billion of congressional funding to build a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border, but Democrats have refused. And finally, France's Prime Minister Edouard Philippe has said a no-deal Brexit looks less and less unlikely and has launched a contingency plan to prepare for it. After the UK Parliament rejected the withdrawal agreement, Mr. Philippe said laws had to be passed and millions invested in French ports and airports. An EU official will now visit all 27 capitals to coordinate no-deal plans. EU countries with close UK ties have already begun preparing for its departure on 29th March without a deal. He also revealed that Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker and UK's PM Theresa May had texted each other since her defeat in Parliament on Tuesday, but said they had not spoken. That's it for news segment. The latest in sports is next.
Most of us spend the better part of each weekday at the workplace. So why not make your office environment the kind of setting that helps you function at your personal best by outfitting it with top quality furniture, high-end photocopiers, printers, versatile office supplies, and the latest technology. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at the TDC Business Center are happy to provide you with personalized service to help you create an office space that's the total package. TDC Business Center, providing solutions that work.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In basketball, Stephen Curry scored 41 points with 9 three-pointers to become the first player in NBA history to make 8 or more threes in 3 straight games, and the Golden State Warriors held off the New Orleans Pelicans 147-140 on Wednesday night for their 6th straight win. Curry has 28 three-pointers in his past 3 games, while the Warriors made 18 or more from deep in a franchise record 4th straight game. Meanwhile, Donovan Mitchell scored 28 points and the Utah Jazz defeated the Los Angeles Clippers 129-109 on Wednesday night for their first 5-game winning streak of the season. Mitchell, coming off Western Conference Player of the Week honors, has averaged 30.3 points over his last 6 games. Elsewhere, Jusuf Nurkic had 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists for his first career triple-double, and the Portland Trail Blazers beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 129-112 on Wednesday night. And Davis Bertans hit a go-ahead three-pointer with 1 minute 41 seconds left, and the San Antonio Spurs rallied from a 19-point first-half deficit to beat the Dallas Mavericks 105-101 on Wednesday night. In tennis, Serena Williams swatted aside Canada's Eugenie Bouchard in straight sets to continue her quest for a record-equaling 24th Grand Slam title at the Australian Open. The American 16th seed made a rapid start on her way to a 6-2, 6-2 victory over the 2014 Wimbledon finalists. Ukraine's Diana Yastremska, ranked 57th, awaits her in the 3rd round. Still in tennis, world number 1 Simona Halep survived the skate to beat American Sofia Kenin and reached the Australian Open 3rd round. The Romanian had been cruising to victory after leading by a set and a break before finding herself a breakdown in the 3rd. She kept her composure to break back in the 7th game of the decider before going on to win 6-3, 6-7, 5-7, 6-4. It is the first time since Wimbledon in 2009 that all of the women's top 8 seeds have reached the 3rd round at a Grand Slam. In football, Cristiano Ronaldo's header was enough for Juventus to beat AC Milan and claim a record 8th Supercoppa Italiana in a game played in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The Portugal forward nodded in Mirahim Pjanić's lofted pass in the second half to settle a meeting between Italian football's 2 most successful clubs. It was Ronaldo's 16th goal of the season for the Serie A leaders. Patrick Cutrone hit the crossbar for Milan, who had Ivorian midfielder Frank Kessie sent off. Scores: Juventus 1, AC Milan 0. That's it for sports. The general weather forecast is next. Welcome back. Another local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight will be mostly fair and cool. Winds are easterly with speeds ranging between 11 to 22 kilometers per hour or 6 to 12 knots, with the lightest spells at times. Seas are 0.9 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:36 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Thursday, 17th January 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, police to restructure tactical units in its continued fight against crime and violence. And government has choice to publish IMF report on IMF consultations, so says Financial Secretary. Regionally, Northeast Trinidad rocked by earthquake. Internationally, Queen Elizabeth's husband unhurt in crash while driving. And in sports, Curry hits 9 three-pointers to become first player in NBA history to make 8 or more threes in 3 straight games. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashan Tyson,